Hi, we are now moving on to the Scranton School District candidates, and with me this morning is Nathan Barrett. Welcome, Nathan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So we're going to point you to our website, lwvlackawanna.org, and vote411.org for additional bio information and answers to a couple of questions from the candidate. But I just want to spend a minute with Nathan explaining what positions he's running for that are on the ballot, because it's a little bit different with the school board this year. There's an unexpired seat from a resigned, someone who had resigned from the school board. So there's a 2-year term on the ballot as well as a 4-year term on the ballot, and folks are allowed to run for both of them. And also, because school director is an unpaid position,
Correct.
You're also allowed to cross-file. So very different from a traditional candidate
Correct.
running for a paid office. So in the primary, Nathan won both on the Democratic and the Republican tickets for the 4-year seat for the school board. Now, he also won on the Republican and the Democratic tickets, but gave up the Democratic side, right?
That is correct, on the 2-year.
On the 2-year. So you'll see Nathan's name 3 places on your ballot for the 4-year seat for both the Democratic and the Republican ticket, and then also on the 2-year seat for the Republican ticket. So it's all school board, it's all unpaid, and you just need to decide who you're voting for. But you're going to vote 1 for the 2-year seat. So you have a choice of 1 person running for that 2-year seat and a choice of more candidates on the 4-year seat. So,
that's correct. Yes,
all right, so that's a little bit of the confusion cleared up. We're going to move right into questions. The first question I have for you is, can you describe the duties of the office that you're running for?
Yes, the duties that we have in the Scranton School District, or as a school board director in general, is to simply implement policy. Okay, what we do is we take a look at the scores, annual, yearly progress, that adequate yearly progress that goes on within our district. And then what we do is we sit down with the administration, see if we're on par with all of our scores, and if we're not, then what we need to do is we need to implement some other policies to make sure that we're increasing. We're always giving our students the challenge that we need to excel in those particular categories that they are taking on.
Okay. So what qualifies you to run for this office? And I'm interested in any relevant experience that you might have, whether it comes from professional, personal, whatever you've done in your life. What do you bring to the job? And then also, what distinguishes you from the other candidates? Why you?
I think I have the best qualifications of anybody on the ballot. And the reason being is, first of all, I'm a product of the Scranton School District. Okay, that's something that I take a lot of pride in. In addition to that, I am a teacher myself. I went to school for education. I know what goes on in the classroom on a daily basis. I see things from the classroom out, and now that I have been appointed to the school board for over a year now, I have the ability to see from an administrative standpoint in. So I have a multi-dimensional aspect to bring to the table for all the constituents within the city of Scranton here. And so I know what's essential, I know what possibly can be trimmed that we would consider fat, and I know what is very, very important, high priority. Also, what I bring to the table is the fact that I have been sitting on the school board for a year. Okay, I have been posed a problem that has been the worst financial disaster within the history of the Scranton School District, and that is Governor Corbett's current budget right now. It has essentially dismantled some of the educational programs that we've had, and so we've had to combat this and figure out what is an order of importance. So right now I bring that experience. If you go through the worst, it can only get better from here. That's the way I feel. One more thing that I feel qualifies me best is I right now sit as the chairperson of the board at the Career Technology Center of Lackawanna County, and what that does is it provides students with workplace educational programs to get them right in the workforce after college or after high school. College is not for everyone, and we know that, and students within the school district, we have to accommodate everyone. So as a result, I have experience with that. I bring that to the table as well. So I think multi-dimensional, I have a lot of experience. I think that makes me the best candidate.
Wonderful, thank you. Can you explain to me, and you mentioned a little bit about the adequate yearly progress, what challenges does the district face in meeting those adequate yearly progress levels as set by the federal No Child Left Behind laws, and what actions should or could the school board take to address the problems?
I want to let you know, first of all, we face difficulties right from the get-go. We have students coming from many different countries now. where years ago it was just standard English-speaking families. So right off the bat, teachers are at a disadvantage because they have to have language acquisition skills first before they're able to implement the curriculum that the district and the state has set forth for them. And then in addition to that, what's happening is then they are behind schedule. So then our district looks like we're a failure at this point. So what we're doing as a district right now at this point is we are looking at the problems where we're having, such as literacy. Right now, for the first time in 14 years, we have not made the adequate yearly progress. And Scranton School District, with the dynamics that we have, to make it 14 years straight is an accomplishment in itself. However, we're looking at the literacy problems, and we've implemented programs such as Read About, and that helps literacy with kids on the computer. It's a computerized program. It's very stimulating to them. In addition to that, in the Scranton School District, we have 61% of our students are economically disadvantaged, okay? So that is households that they come from that's not conducive for learning. What I mean by that is there's not books in the household. There's not computers there for go to resources. So right now, it's different than it was in years past. So these teachers, these administrators, and us as school board directors are facing these challenges right now and trying to make it better for them and make up for those economically disadvantaged kids or those kids who cannot speak English right from the day that they show up at the front door of our schools.
Okay, thank you. Can you explain the impact of charter schools on the district? Do they provide benefits to the students that the school district can't?
Me personally, I do not believe that they could provide any benefits right now. Charter schools do not have to abide by the standards, state standards, that develop our curriculum within the state, okay? So right now, they don't have to meet our adequately year progress. So there's no way to measure those students in those schools, whether they're staying on target as far as first grade, second grade, third, are they building on the years previous? And there's nothing set forth right now. There's not enough research to say that. And the only problem with this is now that this current gubernatorial administration is allowing these schools to be approved, and it's on the back of the taxpayers within the city to fund these schools. And we have no research that is stating that this is going to be beneficial to our students. Okay, we have documented information that's telling us that what we're doing is working. We have documented information that our students are going off to college or they're in job placement. These charter schools are new. There's no research that's stating anything that it's more beneficial to our students. Sometimes they provide a little bit of a different atmosphere. This is what they're claiming, okay? But our teachers in the school district, they provide multi-dimensional environments that are conducive. Every student learns differently. Some are tactile, some are auditory, some are visual. And our teachers within this district provide those different learning styles for each one of those kids. So any charter school claiming that they provide a different environment, I think it's unfair to say that, especially for the hardworking teachers of our district.
Okay, thank you. What opportunities for improvements do you see are available in the district, and what's your approach or plan to address them?
Could you please repeat the first half?
What improvements do you see are needed in the district, and how can you as a school director approach them?
Okay, I have, within my last 10 months as a school director, I have implemented efficiency programs. What I mean by that is I had set 10 things that I felt could be improved as far as monetarily. Okay, and this was stuff as such as progressing the district towards a paperless district. Okay, I feel that that could save cost or save taxpayer dollars. Okay, what we would do is we would, instead of sending progress reports home 2 times per quarter, times 4 quarters, which is 8 progress reports, we can do that now online. We could update that information online. Parents could see up to the minute what's going on within the classroom. So it eliminates paper, it eliminates postage, it eliminates envelopes, ink cartridges to print these progress reports. This is cost efficiency, okay? In addition to that, what I did was we have implemented a substitute calling system for our teachers. What we were doing was we were paying overtime to teachers who were losing their plan periods. They weren't able to properly plan, and then they had to go cover a class because we weren't having 100% coverage on all of our schools and all of our classrooms. So what I did was I implemented that. That eliminated the cost of overtime for teachers. What we did was we had worked intergovernmentally We had a project. We had cracks in our playground over at Charles Sumner School in West Scranton. What we did was I contacted the City of Scranton Department of Public Works, and what I did was I asked them if they could possibly fill in those cracks, because we had a cost analysis done, and it was going to cost taxpayers of the City of Scranton $190,000 to resurface that entire parking lot. We had it done for $30,000 by working intergovernmentally within our 3 governmental bodies within the city. And it saved the taxpayers money. I'm very proud of that, and just cost efficiency, to answer your question.
Okay. Do you think school board meetings should be held in a larger room to accommodate better the people who attend them? Why or why not?
I do. We provide different venues so that people can see these that normally couldn't get to downtown Scranton. So we've held some meetings at Scranton High School, some at West Scranton Intermediate School. We held one recently at Whittier Elementary over in South Scranton. So we do try to move around to accommodate people who are not very ambulatory, but I think the size that we have right now is pretty sufficient at the school district administration building. And the reason being is that when we have meetings, there has not been a lot of attendance. So I feel that that's pretty adequate. However, if we moved around and we start to get some interest, and then I think maybe televising them would be something that would spark some interest. People need to know that 63% or 63 cents on the dollar, on their tax dollar, goes to our district. And they need to know where their money's going. And I have no problem with transparency. I have no problem with people coming. And I have no problem moving around whatsoever. That would be totally fine with me.
Okay. The last question that I have for you kind of pertains to, not kind of, but does pertain to the makeup of the school board. So in some districts, the school district is represented by some elected board members who are elected at large, and then others who are regional. So would, specifically say come from Minooka or Greenridge or whatever, however the city would be segmented. So what the history has shown is that when you have that type of a mixed election system, you tend to have greater diversity on the makeup of the board overall. How do you feel about that? Do you think that our current makeup of just directors elected at large is the appropriate way to represent all of the residents in Scranton, or would you be in favor of some at large and some district regional representatives on the board?
Well, I think both are pretty interesting. I like the fact of the regional aspect, because then what happens is you have access to the person who lives in your neighborhood. I never thought about it until I just had asked the question. Now with me on the Career Technology Center of Lackawanna County, our board, there are several, for instance, in the Mid-Valley School District. They are broken up regionally, and I know North Pocono is as well. So if you have somebody from your neighborhood, that could give you greater access to those people to try to maybe discuss a problem that you have or address an issue that you may have. However, right now I don't have an issue, because what it does is it forces me as a candidate to get into the neighborhoods. You go out and get them. They shouldn't have to come to you. They're paying tax dollars. I think you could go to them. I think there should not be an issue with you going out into the neighborhoods. If you want exposure, you go talk to the people. That's how I implemented the checklist that I spoke to you before about the different cost efficiency measures that I've taken. I had spoken to the people that worked within the district. I went out and I spoke to them. I went out and spoke to constituents, taxpayers of the city, and I asked them, what's on your mind? There's too much money being spent out. So I went and I tried to tackle that problem. People within the district, the teachers, for example, they had said that they were sick of losing their plan periods. So I tackled that. So I don't have an issue whatsoever going out and meeting people. But I think either way would be very effective. I don't have an issue if they did change it. I would still go out and meet people. That wouldn't be an issue to me.
Okay. Nathan, that's all the questions that I have for you, but you still have 2 minutes for a closing statement. Okay.
Well, I hope that everybody would consider me. I would have no problem whatsoever ever meeting with someone. The school board meetings are the first Monday of every single month. If you wanted to come ask me questions, see some of the things that I have tackled over the last 12 months, my actions, I felt, speak louder than my words that I'm saying right here today. I have done everything in my power to reduce the cost of taxpayer dollars. I am an educator myself. I am the chairperson of the board. I am reaching out to different entities trying to improve the Career Technology Center of Lackawanna County, and we have increased enrollment up there since I've been on that board. I have brought together a project that is improvement up there, and we're working closely with John Blake, and we got grant money to improve the programs up there. So I am devoted to education from the time I get up in the morning until I arrive home late at night after the school board meetings or a Career Technology Center of Lackawanna County meeting. I just hope that you would consider me, with my educational background. I am pursuing my degree in school, my master's degree in school administration, and I feel that I'm very qualified, and I know what's right for the district. I know what's right for the teachers, the students, and the taxpayers, and I look at the entire big picture before I make any decision. So I would ask you for your vote on November 8th. And I thank you very much for your time, and I thank you for the opportunity to let me send my message out to the people of the city of Scranton.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. That concludes our time with Nathan Barrett today. Don't forget, Nathan is running both for the open 4-year seat and also for the open 2-year seat on your ballot. So you'll see his name in multiple places on the ballot. And check lwvlackawanna.org and vote411.org for additional information and answers to a couple of additional questions. Thank you.